background transparent. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. So now let me copy this. Yo, what's going on? Peach, Solomon, how are you guys? By chance take a picture with the Christian YouTuber? What do you mean? I did. SK, that's what we're here. We're going to be talking about here. How that all went down. I'm actually streaming on both Twitch right now and YouTube. Just kind of combining my audiences because yeah, I haven't been streaming nearly as much on my Twitch channel as I've been on the YouTube side of things. So yeah, so me and John actually work together now on his channel. So it's one of the things we do. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I combine this and it works. It looks like it wants to work. Maybe is there like a save setting on this thing? That was you. I thought you thought I had a twin. No, yeah, people have been reaching out to me. I didn't know. He posted that picture. I took the picture. That's why it's like my face is so close to it. So my face looks huge compared to the rest. But yo, we were like deadbeat tired. I'm gonna get into that whole story here in just a minute. How are you doing, Solomon, though? How's life for you? Peach, how are you doing? Let's see. I'm gonna try. Let's just try straight up deleting this real quick. And then we'll copy this. We're going to reopen it and put it in there. Because right now, I think everyone's just seeing my... No, it keeps doing the same thing. Okay, I kind of like that better. Let's try this. Copy. It's like not getting rid of the actual background because I want to get that square out of there. How was the meeting? Let's see. Let me look at the actual restream chat here. This is, I don't like the way this is, but it looks like it picked it up. My restream picked it up, so that works. We could just keep this. The chat that I have going right here and keep that as our main thing for now. Narukami 2D. Okay, so are you what's your actual name? Is it Nathan? Nate? John was telling me about you. How did the meeting go today? Let's see here. Panda just said, I had a wonderful few days with my best friend who came down to do service with me for my dad. Like they did a service. Oh, they did the service for your dad. So that funeral happened. Everything's good. That's okay. Pray that went well. Let me know. Love to be praying for you still. And they're heading back to Texas now for her mother's cousin, which is more like an aunt uncle to her. Her uncle got stage 4 prostate cancer. I think that's what it is. Oh man. Well, we'll definitely pray for that. Before we get into my story, guys, if you have any prayer requests, typically I always start out streams on the Twitch side, now on the YouTube side of things too. Would love to be able to pray for you guys. So if you have any prayer requests, please throw them in as we're just saying hello, greeting one another. Love to be able to pray for you guys in that. And then we're going to jump into really that whole conversation that I was telling you guys about of how this all came about, what happened there. And then I got a special interview of me and John that we did in my car. Now, full transparency, you'll understand by the end of my story, but we were running on like next to no sleep. And so we're driving at the same time. I'm driving on no sleep. And the way that the interview kind of got lined up, you can see our faces for the most part. You see John's face the whole time. My face is like half in, half out. But it's all really, really good stuff. So I'm excited. By the end of this, you guys stick around to the end of the live stream. I'm hoping, maybe some of you guys can help me figure this out, but hoping to kind of raid, to use Twitch words, Twitch terminology, to raid the video that I'm uploading right now. And then that way you guys could all kind of be the first ones to watch it and see it. And moving forward, that's what my hope is for Friday videos, is to do a live stream, hopefully around 1 p.m., stream for a little bit, and then push everybody to a video that we have that's brand new. And really for you guys as a community that like I'm thinking about and being like, okay, how can I make something good that people want to see, or that would be beneficial to other Christian creators, to pastors, to just content creators in general, and make something you guys like. So I have some really good ideas, some really fun stuff planned, but hopefully these conversations are enjoyable for you guys as well. So let me see here. Let's keep going. I'm doing a lot better. Thanks for asking. Hope you and your newborn are doing well. Yeah, what's crazy is she's not even really a newborn anymore. Like me and my wife were just talking about this. We're trying to plan out her birthday. Her birthday is December 27th, so it's right in between like the Christmas and New Year stuff. And so what we're gonna bump into is that, you know, you can't really throw a birthday party the weekend before because everyone's doing Christmas things, and you can't really do the weekend after because it's like everyone wants to do New Year's things. So we're trying to like figure out, we're like, okay, is that a good week to just do it? It lands on like a Tuesday. We're like, can we just throw a party on a Tuesday? You know, a lot of people have off work, a lot of church people, which is a majority of our friend group and people who we invite, you know, typically have off after the whole church holidays and ramping up and running from Christmas and into the new year. So we're looking right now. We have a lot of cool ideas for her, but yeah, I was just messing around with Streamlabs YouTube chat function, nowhere near as good as ecom. You know what it is? Okay, so here's the thing. So you could tell me, John, what you think about this, and then get back to me too on Twitter, because I did message you back. I saw it the day you texted me, and I was at a conference, and I was like, I gotta respond to this dude, and I responded. I think I responded yesterday, but yeah, hit me up if you want to do like a Fridays. Fridays are my best days, but I can try to make any other day work. Is ecom one? Do you pay for ecom? Because for OBS, I mean, I'll just show you like my main stuff is like, boom, this, you know, I have this going on for when we're starting soon here. We got our just chatting stream. I have like the break one. So, right. So we have all sorts of stuff that we could have set up and ready to go, like that I have just from all of my stuff and years doing Twitch, you know, like, hey, we got this here. You know, so we have different things, and it's really, really helpful. OBS is like kind of just an open ocean or forest where it's like if you can think it, there's a way to create it with OBS. That's why I like it. But right now we're using Restream through OBS to make it work. Herman, it's right. How did the meeting go, man? I wish Streamlabs did it as good because that would save me a ton of money. Yeah, so I mean, I've been streaming for 5 years. I don't know many Twitch streamers. I've never even heard of ecom until I came to the YouTube side of things. And the idea of paying for things, like there was for those of you who are on Twitch, if you guys remember and you stream, you might remember there was the it has a Blue Fox logo. Because basically there was Streamlabs, there was OBS, and then there was Stream Elements. I think it was called Moxie. But before Stream Elements and Streamlabs came about, it was really just you had three choices: OBS or Moxie is I think what it was called. And really those were like the first two. And the difference was Streamlabs was this, you know, just anyone could do anything. Or there was Moxie, which was a paid one, which I feel sounds like what ecoms is similar to, but I'd have to mess around with it. It went fine. We just touched bases on stuff. Right on, man. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because people mix up like, they're like, oh, is that your short or was that the other guy? And you've been a mystery to me up until this point because we still haven't met. I was actually going to jump in the meeting just to connect and meet you, because I'm like, John told me when he hired you on, and I was like, oh, cool, we'll get to know this guy. And then we've never connected. So glad to meet you. Nice to meet you. My name's Jay. I'm a pastor, also content creator here. And yeah. And also work with John like you do. It's already been a year. Yeah, dude, it's been a year. For sure. I just responded my bad on being like, no, you're good, man. You're good. Oh my goodness. We need a mod. We need a mod stat. Log user on this one. There we go. Add to block list and restream. There we go. We got rid of both. Ayo, Shadeless. How's it going, man? How you doing, buddy? I saw you just had dinner at PT. That's awesome. Ecam is like 400 a year, which is way too much. Dude, for just to be able... No way. I would never. And with that, what do you get? Just to be able to do live streams? Dude, just learn OBS. I'm telling you, if you have decent internet, and I will be glad to help walk you through how to do stuff in Streamlabs. Or just literally don't even do Streamlabs. Just do OBS. Just straight up download OBS. It's going to take... There's a learning curve because there's like no hand-holding through it, but it's so much more helpful. And I feel like it's a lot more... there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. There's a lot of things on it that just help you walk through it better. Yo, Saint Bear, how you doing, my man? We just had a big conference, and I think I met some guys that you might know. I was hanging out with a few guys. Do you know, because you weren't in the same circles as some of these guys, at least I think you do. Let me see, where's his name? Grant. How do I get my followers list on followers? Rob Gunya, he's an adults ministry pastor at Journey up in Kenosha. And then Grant's like a pretty big popular dude. I got another sweet thing that I'm not gonna announce today. I'm gonna announce it next week. But yeah, I'm super sick. Grant Skeldon, he does like Christian retreat stuff for, he's like around our age. I think he might be like a year or two older than me. He does like retreats and stuff like that for Christians and influencers and pastors and other people. What happened with your bot? What do you mean? I'm doing, you know what it is I think it's because I'm running everything right now. I'm still using OBS, but I'm running it through Restream because we're on both the YouTube and Twitch side. So that might be why. Let's see. I'm doing a lot better. Been praying for you. Oh, Shadeless, what's been going on, man? I have mod purchase apparently. Should I be banning something? There was there we go. Okay, I think we got it. I think we got rid of it. There was like a random SEX box in here, and I was like, okay, let's get that out of here. How do I ban? I think if you click on the username and then you should be able to swing the hammer. Yes, PT and I grabbed some grub. I didn't know you guys were so close to each other. Bro, okay, so I got to get into this story eventually soon because that's the whole reason people are coming, and I have to figure out how to edit a YouTube live video later. But people are going to be like, why are they just hanging out, chilling, and talking? Which, totally fine. But I want to make sure we have time, or I have time to get into the story of how I was literally almost right by you, Shadeless. Like, I was legit getting ready to text you, be like, yo, dude, I'm coming, and I am crashing on your couch with what do you mean? But I'll get into that in a minute. If you guys have any other prayer requests, let me know, and we'll pray here in a minute, and then we'll get started here. Good talks. OBS and Stream Elements is all you need. Exactly. If I tell everybody, don't use Streamlabs. Streamlabs sucks. Their morals suck. No, I used Streamlabs when it first came out for a few things, but honestly, OBS, and if you want to have alerts or other things, like the chat or whatever, Stream Elements. That's all you're gonna need. Unless there was really something in, and I haven't looked at Ecamm that much, but unless it gives something that like Discord, FaceTime can't, or that Restream can't, it's totally not worth it. Restreams only costs like, I think for the year is maybe like $50, and that lets us combine all the cameras, different sources, giving their best source and taking any of that CPU or GPU power off your computer and onto the platform. And there's even a free version of Restream if you were looking to do multiple platforms. It's on guard duty, kicking people out. Doesn't ring a bell. Okay. Grant and I have shared connections, but I don't know him. Okay, right on. I thought maybe since you both are in that same space, I thought maybe you guys would. Also, we hanging next week. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I gotta see. I should be able still to. Our second car died, so if you guys can be praying for us, we're gonna go look for a car tomorrow. We've been looking for like 2 weeks off and on now. My second car that I had was a free car that somebody gave me back in my first church ministry job, and so now that car died. That used to be what I was driving around, and it's dead. The brakes are out. Like, there's a brake fluid leak. So like that would all have to be gutted and replaced. It's like a 94 Honda. So like that car's just done. And so we're trying to find a car within our budget, also trying to save for a house, all that fun stuff. So we've just been looking and just asking the Lord to give us something that would be good for us. So the plan is still for me to go, but I do not feel comfortable leaving my wife without a car for 2 to 3 days while I'm in another state. So if I can get this car still figured out, everything should be back on track. Still should be good. She doesn't want to say like, please stay so that we could have a car. But I know, and I feel like being a good father, a good husband would be get the car situation figured out and then go on this really awesome retreat that we're going to get to do all together. So super excited for it though still. Let's see here. Yes, story time. Yeah, we're going to get to it. Still playing Digimon. I am. I'll be honest though. I've been like, I was like, okay, fatherhood, I'm gonna still be good. I'm still gonna get to play a ton. I have not kept up with it like I have before. I was doing like every set buying a box or two. And right now, just in this place where I'm like, yeah, spending $200 to $400 a month on like a new box is not in the budget. So been taking a step back a little bit. Still been playing a ton. Just haven't been having as competitive of decks, if that makes sense. So flying then, rent. That's something I could try to see about flying out there too, if need be. I think we're gonna be able to find a car tomorrow. I'm really hoping. We have some like really good prospects, and like it's not like we're just shopping. It's like I actually want to like buy. The last few weeks, it's more like, all right, let's see what's out there. Let's not buy the same day. Like, and even tomorrow, we won't buy like their car, like tip, because I've been in sales for a long time. Not car sales, but I've helped a lot of people buy cars. Never buy a car the moment you walk onto the lot. Never tell them how much you like it either. You can be like, oh, it's cool, has some good things, but I need to think about it. And never buy it while you're there, because I guarantee, I promise you, this happened to me the last 2 weeks. We've looked at about, I'm not exaggerating, at least over 20 cars. And on every car, at every dealership, it's usually just the one. If you see multiple cars at a place, they won't do it for all of them. But whatever one really seems like you're interested in, if you give them your number, if you give them your information, they will call you that same day, and they will tell you whatever price they gave you before, they'll bring it down because they want to make that sale. They want you to come back. Plus, it's just good for you to make sure you really love that car. You want to invest in that. So that's what we've been doing. But yeah, I think tomorrow we're really going to get one. I will keep you updated for sure. You've regretted buying boxes? I've never regretted buying the box itself. It's more, and that's a video we're going to be doing soon. Should Christians play TCG card games, Magic stuff, like all that? We're going to look at that scripturally. I wanted to do a pads episode on that, but I think it's just going to end up being one of my episodes. Also, by the way, I'm trying to get people to jump on here on Fridays with me. So if you're a content creator, if you're someone who loves talking, even if you're not, and you just have thoughts on these things, let me know. Love to get you on here. I'm supposed to have Deucin on. I have a video all queued up talking through the like YouTube, Twitch bridge here, and moving from content on one platform to another to multiple ones, what you should be doing. You know, and Deucin was one of the first ones I know that really, like, he was doing good on Twitch and then jumped over to YouTube and then switched back to Twitch now, and really is kind of, it's interesting. He's split between Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, which I think are all good ones to be throwing content on, especially if you're trying to reach gamers. But I wanted to talk with him on that because I have a whole video on it that I have a part for him in, and yeah, just waiting to make that happen. Let's see here. Yeah, no worries. You regret BT4? I didn't think it was. I'm definitely down. Truth, let's make it happen, man. Let me know if you, like I said, Fridays, I'm off like all day. I have no other responsibilities. My wife goes to work till about 4 p.m. Central Time, and you're here in Chicago too, dude. True, let's like set up a time to actually like get together since we're in the same area. I was heavily into Yu-Gi-Oh before I quit to do something else. Yo, dude, I used to, like, back in high school, we were like closet nerds because me and my friends, we all played sports. We all were on football teams, baseball teams. And I think we just had this insecurity of we didn't want to come across like the nerds that we were deep down. And so, at least that was me. I can't speak for all my friends. You know, I played guitar, you know, cared deeply what women thought about me at the time. I was a Christian, but still like had these insecurities. But me and my friends used to go to every Yu-Gi-Oh regional in the Chicagoland area. We go out to Rosemont. We'd play in the tournaments. I topped a couple of them. Never went to Worlds. And I used to share the gospel at these things because there'd be, 400 or 500 young adults who never heard of the word soap or shower or deodorant. And I'd be just talking to them. Sometimes I'd even be talking to parents who like brought their younger kids and they were just sitting there waiting on the sidelines of a hotel or of a convention center. And I would just start talking to them. Or if I got into a game with a kid and we finished up early in our rounds, I used to play heroes, elemental heroes. And so I would talk about how we all need a hero in our lives and how why we really, I was like 15, 16, 17 years old. And I'd be talking through, why we idolize heroes, why we all look up to something greater and bigger beyond ourselves. And I would tie that back to the gospel. And it was cool. Met a lot of cool people that way. And then we all went to college and a lot of us stopped. I got busy with Bible college. My friends got busy. And I remember trying to go to a regional by myself. Maybe like my freshman or sophomore year of Bible college. And I was like, this just isn't fun. Spending the whole day by yourself, not really knowing anybody. I'm like, this isn't nearly as good. But truth, let's make it happen. Let's see. Interesting. I've been lurking. As a Christian, I remember I burned all my Pokemon cards as a child to obey my parents' old church. Now that I'm older, I've rebuilt my childhood Pokemon TCG collection and more. Yeah, so exactly. That's why I want to get into that whole conversation. Because even when I was before I was in Bible college, back when I was in junior high at my first church, my youth pastor told me the same thing, right? Because there was that whole story of the shaman going around and talking about how, all these Pokemon were just spirits and demons based in their culture. And so, yeah, so I had friends that did literally the same thing, wanting a deep desire and just feeling of guilt and wanting to be obedient to what does scripture actually say. Not actually reading that in their own private time with the Lord, but more just like hearing these stories and then feeling like, okay, this person has now put on me this responsibility of like, I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't be playing it. So I'm just going to burn it all down as a way to honor the Lord. And again, the heart intention could be good. I want to save it for the video because yeah, I have a lot to say on that. And we'll cover everything from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh to Magic the Gathering. Those are kind of the big three. Because yeah, there's a lot of Christians that like geez, it's not even the game itself. It's just the mechanics of being able to play and like playing chess or anything like that. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited. And I have a few friends that I might have jump on that video with us for that conversation. Let's see here. But I've like, no joke, I've thought, man, if this channel ever got to a point where I could pay an editor to like do and run my YouTube stuff. Also, if you guys aren't following on YouTube, make sure you guys go follow. I keep wanting to say twitch.tv/Supershadow. That's my Twitch. But on YouTube, it's youtube.com/SupershadowX. I'm going to try to just get with these new handles that are coming out. The name Supershadow, but we'll see. What was I going to say? Oh, is that if I had an editor, I would totally try to make a second channel where I don't have any. I have one thing Pokemon related right now, and it's the 25 anniversary. I'll show you guys. It's like the Mega Deluxe Premium collector's pack or box that has the golden Charizard and golden Pikachu in it. And I'm like, dude, Pokemon's not going away anytime soon. I'm going to save this. It's still completely sealed and wrapped. And I'm going to hold on to it until my daughter, who's just newly born, goes to college. And it's around the 50th anniversary of Pokemon. And I'm like, and this will probably be worth some bank. So this will help pay for her college. So that's all I have. But I would love to make a YouTube channel if this was generating money enough to pay an editor and I'd have to edit that. Really where I would start with a blank binder. Nothing more than that. No other Pokemon cards I own. And then truly trying to catch them all. And it would just be episodic of like, okay, today I'm trying to find a near mint. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 every time because I don't have that kind of money. But, just like a good condition, Bulbasaur. And then next, and try to like keep going all the way down the line through every generation. And at least have like not every card in the world, but at least one of every Pokemon and have like a complete collection as I go through sets. Dude, I think everybody had that insecurity in high school. Yo, not my best friend. That's what I was gonna say. My best friend, who I still hang out with to this day. I remember senior year, he would just straight up. We had an English class together. He sat behind me or in front of me, And this girl who I had like been crushing on since I'd moved up there in like 7th grade sat right next to me. And so we were talking back and forth, and she knew I liked her from a long time ago. And we've had this like on and off again kind of relationship, but never really like full send, like, hey, we're dating, we're doing this. And so I was like, okay, this English class is the place where we're going to connect and we're just going to make it happen. And she's going to be possibly like my senior year, senior prom, you know, date and all this stuff. And I remember me and my buddy, we were really good at English class. And our teacher was like, yeah, if you finish your stuff, like, you guys are free to hang out, to chill, work on other homework, be on your phone, you know, have free time. Just don't disrupt anybody else. So my buddy, we used to always carry our decks in our book bags. One day he turned around, like straight up, just like turned around and had his deck and mat, and just like threw his mat down on my table. I was just like on my phone, and then like put his deck down and was like, let's play. Like everybody else, like, oh dude, I just like wanted to like squirm into my chair, because like I was like, oh, this girl right next to me who's super cute, like watching us, and like other people coming over to like, because they're curious, and they're like, oh, what are you guys doing? And then you get like all the questions of like the normies who don't play cards or anything, like, so like, do you just collect them, or like, what does this one do, or like, and you know, and it's hard to tell, like, is the curiosity coming from a genuine place of like, I'm interested, or is the curiosity coming from a place of like, I'm kind of mocking you right now? And so I'm just like, what do I do? How do I respond? Because we had like 40 minutes, so it wasn't like there was like a time restraint. And we played, and we did, and I don't remember who won. I just remember like feeling so uncomfortable. And I think my buddy knew that, because he was just trying to get me more out of my shell, in that regards to like talking about openly about games and stuff. Because yeah, I was totally like not wanting people to know that about me. Definitely, man, I'm up for it. I'm a couple hours away from Chicago, but I visit often. Okay, well, yeah, let me know, man. Let me know when you're down. Jesus, the OG hero. Exactly, my dude. I love Elemental Heroes. I grew up watching GX. Yes, people get mad at me on that Yu-Gi-Oh front, but I think theme song wise, like, GX just slaps way harder. Get your game on, man. But yeah, I really liked a lot of the GX stuff. I thought that was like one of the coolest concepts, other than card games on motorcycles. Like a whole school where that's all you do is you learn how to do this and how to do it better. Let's see. Yeah, it's tough if you extend some of this to Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards, but I get it. Yeah, I would be. Let's see here. I think Pokemon is a soulless NPC brand nowadays. The Funko Pops of TCG and RPGs. Digimon is fine because it's a Christian anime. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, there's people take things to weird places all the time, but like, yeah, I have a friend who, I mean, we're going to do an episode on just should Christians watch anime in general. We did a YouTube Pastors After Dark episode of that, but just like a more concise, reach a wider audience. Because I have some friends that are like totally submerged, totally in, and I've watched my fair share. We've talked about it in the Pastors After Dark. I think me and Ferris are probably on like the heavier side. Ferris is even deeper into things than I am. I've seen a lot of like the mainstream like Shonen Jump stuff. But Ferris was like way deep into like things I never even heard of but sounded interesting. So I have some friends on that end of the spectrum that are Christians, pastors, stuff like that, but then you have people on the other side that are just like, yo, there's like weird dark stuff. I mean, even Ferris, we talked about like the history that just kind of came of in Japan of like the sexuality mixed with like these early cartoons, and how that's prevalent even in like the most mainstream and more innocent, I'll say, shows, you know, Dragon Ball Z. Not that Dragon Ball is innocent, but you think it's like it's mostly focused on fighting. There's like a lot of stuff in it. So having like an actual, here's a complete deep dive biblically on should Christians watch this or not, something else we'll have coming up. There we go. Thanks in advance. Also, I would be down top on one for, yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter, so that way I remember, and then we can talk about a week, the dates. Pokemon's 25th anniversary Ultra Premium Collection. Look, like I said, I knew there was a lot of adjectives. I don't remember, but it's sitting. There's a closet like right here on the other side of this wall. gotta get like those glass cases for it because I don't want like it to get moldy or dusty. Let's see here. Team Agumon. I remember being super hyped up seeing War Greymon for the when he fights Seadramon. I remember this. Del, how you doing? How are you? Good to see you. All right, so no other prayer requests. I'm gonna pray. I think I've talked about everything that I wanted that we started on here. I'm gonna pray, and then we'll jump into my story of the craziness, and then hopefully drop a video for you guys here that you guys all can go and watch on our YouTube channel. That's gonna be up just for you guys for here for a little bit. You have to sub again on computer. It's all good. I appreciate you, Del. All right, let me pray, and then we'll get going here on what we have, and yeah, should be a good time. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I needed to do this part for the video. Is actually like change the title and all that. Oh man, hang on. I gotta figure out how to do this. Here it is. See, because it says that my live stream is still coming up, but it didn't actually like bring it over, which is so weird to me. All right, let me copy all this. We can keep talking for a minute. Not made for kids, because I want to have this just up and ready before we move forward on anything else here. But yeah, so moving forward, this is how our Fridays are going to be situated and planned out. Okay. Can I set the date to today? Right now. There we go. Let's see here. One sec, guys. So what I miss, we are talking about the interview that me and another big YouTube creator just got to do with Jeffrey Dahmer's pastor. So I need to real quick on the YouTube side of things put up all the stuff. I set it all up and then it like didn't actually work the way I wanted it to. So it's okay. We're getting there. We're making it happen. We're almost done. I just need to get the thumbnail switched over because I didn't actually save it on this computer. So let me see here. Download. Save image as. All right, guys, we're getting there, I promise. And then I will stop keeping us in suspense and actually share the story of how this all went down here. Because yeah, people have been messaging me because John posted that picture, but he didn't tag like me in it. I'm just in it, but I'm not tagged in it. So I think I can maybe go on his account as an editor and tag myself in it. He probably just didn't know how. It's so funny, dude. It was so cool getting to hang with him for the week because we've been working together for probably 5 to 6 months now, almost. Since like midsummer. So how long has that been? We're in what, October? So probably like 3-4 months. You just finished the Netflix stuff. Yeah, so if you guys want to see his full interview, I'll throw it in the chat here in a minute. Cause let me see here. I'll pull it up. So here was the video that we did, and let me see. It's not on my channel, it's on his. And I need this video to do, I selfishly want this video to do super well. It's sitting at 75K. I'm trying to help him make sure this video gets to 1,000 or 100K. So job security, I need you guys to go watch this on replay, watch it over and over and over again. And so this is the video. I'll show it right here. This is it. It's titled "A Shocking." Oh, you guys can't see it. I'll move it up. It's called A Shocking Interview with Jeffrey Dahmer's Pastor. All right, so this is the thumbnail. John did this one. And it's a long one, boys and girls, let me tell you. But yeah, so I'm behind the camera on all this stuff. So the shaky cam and everything you see on here, that's me. And once I get into the story, you'll understand why I thought the shots looked on it. This wasn't a great shot because I got the phone in there. But like this, oh dude, this was such a good shot. I did this all by hand. I had no other gear to help make sure my shots were steady. No cage, no nothing. We're gonna get into that here in a second. Okay, so let me pray, and then we'll jump in and start this up. So let me pray, and then we'll do this. Do you stream on Saturdays? Saturdays are hard. I try to have at least one full day where I'm not actively doing stuff, where I'm just trying to be really intentional about time with my wife and time with my daughter. And Saturday is like that one day where I know we might plan other stuff to do together, but that's like my one real day where I can like always know I have time for them. So Saturdays are hard, especially because Sundays I try to stream too on the Twitch side of things. And then Fridays I stream. So Saturdays like my one day. That's my like true rest, true like Friday nights too are my time with my wife. But so Saturdays are my one day I try not to do too much. Yo, Yoshi, how's it going? All right, so let me pray, guys, and then we'll jump right into this story because it's wild. And then by the end, if you guys stick around to the very end, I'm gonna release a video for you guys on YouTube. If I can figure out how to raid, if Yoshi or John or anyone can help me figure out if there's like a creator dashboard to raid from, because that's the Twitch side of things again. I want to push you guys all to this video that we're gonna have up, and I think it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, it is my Sabbath. What's my stream schedule now? So that's something I'm kind of working back into, Dell. Is like, okay, I got my rhythm of my content going for the YouTube side of things. What does that look like to incorporate my streams into this? Because we're live right now on both Twitch and YouTube. And so Fridays are going to be still my regular days. Sunday nights are Pastors After Dark. And I'm looking to do maybe one other stream throughout the week, maybe like on a Monday or Tuesday. But I got to see. Because it's just going to depend. So I'm still working that out. Was it okay to watch your stream in a different country on set? Yeah, then you could still do it. All right, let me pray, and then we're going to jump into the story. What do you mean? How we got connected? You guys can ask me all the questions about it, about Jeffrey Dahmer's pastor, Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, what do you meme stuff, and yeah, I'm willing to talk about any of that and all that stuff. And then some of it is going to get re-answered in this video I'm going to upload here in a bit. So let me pray. Dear Father, thank you, God, for today. Thank you for all the people coming through and just hanging out. Lord, on the Twitch side, on the YouTube side, I pray that just this stream would continue to glorify and honor you first and foremost, that through us talking about our insecurities as angsty teens, through our collections of card games or board games or video games, or whatever it may be, God, as we talk through this, that may it all be for the ministry and work of Jesus Christ. That, God, that it would just be an opportunity for us just to shed light on truth, to help us to see, Lord, how we can draw near to you in and through the things that you've given us a passion or a joy of. And Lord, how we can continue to invite you into those things, including online content creation. God, I pray that while we're talking about these ideas of forgiveness and grace and just murder and horror, Lord, that you would just continue to work in the ways that only you can do. Continue to bring those to the stream that you want, and may this be a blessing to all those who see it afterwards. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so where do you even start? Okay, so about, because it's been, we did this all last week, this interview stuff, by the way. So to start, it was probably Monday of last week. You know, I'm gonna look at my phone just to get the dates exactly right for you guys. So John texted me. What do you mean? Texted me on bruh. This is so crazy. So it was, let's see. So John texted me on October 4th, which was a Tuesday. Was that last week Tuesday, or was that already a week ago? Yeah, that was 10 days ago. So yeah, this was still last week. So last week Tuesday, okay, John texts me. And here's what he says. I'm just going to read you guys the text. Give you guys a little insight to our lives here. It's on the creator dashboard on YouTube. All right, I'm going to try to look for it in a bit. Oh, no. I'm sorry, boys and girls. I'm sorry. We might have... I'm like going further back than I thought. Yeah, no, this was all still Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because the text before that, we were talking about a different video for something else. And then so I'm editing something on Tuesday, October 4th. And he says, hey, bro, how's it looking? I said, almost done, about to export, and then I'll send this over. I had to get a little creative because I guess the file didn't save correctly. Yeah, I like screwed up on something. What I did is I oversaved something, but you guys don't care about this. So he said, for show. Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, okay, that's not important. Not important. We're talking about editing stuff. Talking about my computer's a little slow. He's asking me about the title of his first video that he did on Jeffrey Dahmer. Like it was just on, is Jeffrey Dahmer a Christian? Is his faith complicated? Is he in heaven? And I gave him my thoughts on that. Blah, blah, blah. Me and his wife agreed on it. Okay, so we started looking at me flying out. Then he tells me about the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. He tells me, hey, I got connected with the pastor, Jeffrey Dahmer's pastor. The dude's open to doing an interview. I don't know if he'll be able to do it in person, but if he can, would you come with me to help record everything? I've talked to him before. He likes my camera. We have similar cameras. And I told him, I think when he was hanging out with Alan Parr and Mike Winger, I was like, yo, dude, if you need me to come and just vlog, you want to do a vlog style video, I will just be a fly on the wall. I just want to like chill and like hang. So I'm like, I'll bring my camera, like if you can buy my ticket, even better. So we talked and so that was like that time didn't work out. With David Wood, it didn't work out either. And so he was like, yo, we're going to make something happen where we could actually connect, get together and we'll chill. So I was like, all right, sweet. So he brought this opportunity up. And I was like, yeah, well, let me just know where he is. Again, I know nothing, guys, about Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know. I mean, I know who he is, but I have no idea. Like, it was news to me. I discovered as we were starting to talk about this. I'm like, oh, this all happened like in Wisconsin. Like, this is close by. I'm in Chicago. Milwaukee's not that far. Madison's not that far. Couple hours. And so we're trying to like plan this trip. This is one key thing to remember throughout the story. John, what do you mean? One of his biggest weaknesses, and I love him to death, is geography is not his thing. The man is not strong when it comes to maps, when it comes to areas or locations. So we're talking, and he's asking me what like airports are near me so that he can buy a ticket for me to fly out to wherever we're gonna go, so that me and him can meet up, whether that's in Colorado or wherever this guy is. So I'm telling him airports near me. And then he's asking me what days of the week can I do. So I tell him my days, tell him my times. And he gets back to me. He says, by the way, I got an email from Jeffrey Dahmer's pastor. I wrote him to interview him, and he said he's down. If we do it in person this week or weekend, would you be able to come record with us? I imagine we could fly out Friday night and come back Saturday evening. So he was looking at doing the weekend. I was unable to go that weekend because I had a conference that I was doing worship for. Wasn't going to be able to make it. So I was like, dude, I would love to do this opportunity. Is there any other day? I'll make any other day during the week work, but I have to be back. I have commitments this Friday, and I have commitments on Saturday. Friday was a rehearsal for the conference. Saturday was the conference. I turned down going to TwitchCon for free this year because of this exact same thing. I was like, dang, I can't not do this. I already turned down TwitchCon. I have to be at this event and do it and let my yes be yes and my no be no. Oh, so you already knew him before last week? Yeah. So me and there's like a whole story between me and John. I've been editing his shorts for a while now. Like I said, probably about 3-4 months at least. So we've been talking for a while and wanting to get together and do some stuff together. So he's like, okay, let me talk to this guy and get back to him. And I tell him about the conference, and his response was, K word, dang, bad timing, but I go to Dallas Monday through Wednesday. So I was like, okay, what if we do it next week? Reminder, it's Tuesday at this point. There's only 4 days between now and the weekend. 3 days that I could actually make it happen. Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days only, because I had Wednesday and I had Thursday available. Friday is off the table unless we do it super early in the morning. and I somehow fly back right away in time for the conference that night. So I was like, what if we do it the following week? And then he reminds me that he has a conference Monday through Wednesday. And reminder, I work as a pastor. I have a youth group I have to teach on Wednesdays, but I'm like, I will try to get someone to cover that if need be. He's like, I worry late next week might be too late, but not certain. Again, like the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, the hotness was last week. Even me talking about it this week feels like, do people even care anymore? Is anyone going to do this or care about this? Does God understand that I cannot read observing the Sabbath or whoever whatsoever because my family restricts me from doing so? Bible. Yeah, I would say we could talk about this a little bit afterwards. I want to finish the story, but that's a good question. You could ask me again. Remind me that at the end, and we could talk about that. So he said, let me see, because I told him, I'm like, okay, well, what if we leave tomorrow night? Literally, I have to teach youth on Wednesday, but I get done around 9 p.m. Like, we leave at 9 p.m. and we do the interview on Thursday. Thursday is like a super free day for me. I have like 1 or 2 meetings, but I could try to take a personal day. I can, rearrange some stuff. I want to make this happen. And he said, let me see about leaving tomorrow night. I'll have to check with the dude. I'll write him now to see if that's possible. Minder, I don't know if you watched the Jeffrey Dahmer show or whatever on Netflix. I don't know how they portray him, but this guy's like he's not a spring chicken, to say the least. This guy's a little older. If you watch John's interview, you'll see he's still sharp as a tack. He's still all there and all together, but he's just not someone who's going to like have his email linked up to his phone alerts and respond instantly, So kind of knowing that, we kind of talked through, okay, like how can we make this work? What time? John asked me, what time would you need to be back on Thursday? I assume we would be leaving around 3. So because he has to work at 2:30. And I was talking to him about my video that blew up recently. And then I was like, okay, where's this guy in? And then that's when he's like, he's in Wisconsin. So I'm like, yo, dude, this can totally work. Like, cause John was looking at like getting us tickets and airplane tickets and driving a car to see this guy. And I'm like, dude, if this guy's still in the same area, where it says that he's from and he lives in, I'm like, that's only like an hour and a half away from the airport. And I'm only, 20, 30 minutes, depending on the airport, away from him. So I was like, dude, let's just have you fly to me. You come to Chicago. I'll pick you up from the airport. We'll hang out. We'll chill. We'll drive that night, Wednesday night, to the spot where we want to record him, the hotel, whatever it may be. Because I was like, let's do a hotel, because that'll be a good spot. Because the guy didn't want to be recorded in his own house, understandably. And so I'm like, we'll get a hotel room. We'll set it up. We'll make it look nice. And then we'll have him come Thursday morning. He had to be done by like 2:30 exactly. So I was like, okay, if we do it nearby him, we should be good. So that was the plan. Literally deciding this on Tuesday and kind of figuring this out on Wednesday morning. The plan was John was going to fly in Wednesday night. We were going to drive an hour and a half to Wisconsin, get a hotel room, film the guy Thursday morning, and then we'd hang out Thursday and John would go back Thursday evening. That was the plan. This was all super on the fly. Exactly. So, like, literally at the same time, my new iPhone comes in, because for work we get an iPhone upgrade. So, I get my new iPhone, and my messages, like, everything's kind of like mixed. Like, half my messages are going to this phone, half my messages are going to this phone. So it's like trying to balance. I'm keeping both of these on me at all time. And we're talking through like, okay, I have this camera, I have this lens, I have like a tripod, I have these lights, like what can you bring? And so we're talking through everything, and John's like, okay, I have all this other stuff in my office. He has a studio that he shoots his videos out of, but it's far away from his house. And so he's like, but everything's over there. If I run and go get that stuff, I'm not gonna have time. I won't make it to my flight. And I'm like, dude, just come and we'll figure it out when you get here. So he makes his flight. I go and teach youth. I wrap up. I lock everything up at the church. I go say goodnight to my wife, my child, and I'm like, okay, I'll be back probably before you guys even wake up, because ideally this interview is going to be quick. We're only an hour away. And so so we get going. Mind you, John has been talking to this guy. What do you mean? I have not been. I'm just assuming and hearing from him secondhand information. The guy's in Wisconsin. You know, I think he's in that same area. And I assume that he's getting the address, that he's booking the hotel, all that stuff. Okay, so whole day of work's done. Wednesdays are my longest days. It's 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm going to the airport to pick up John. And I have footage of this, so you guys will see some of this in the video that I'll release later on. And so I stop at a gas station, get some snacks for him, and I pick him up at the airport. Super fun moment. We get to hang out. We get to chat. Finally, after like 4 months of working together, we get to be united. We're hanging out. We're talking. And so it was a good time. So we had fun. So we start driving, and we're going, and we're driving there, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy has some ideas. He knows where we're heading. He knows what's up. And so we're driving, and we're kind of just talking. We're shooting the breeze. And he's like, dude, I'm so tired. Mind you, I wasn't filming all of this because I didn't want to be that dude who like came up to him with a camera in his face and anything like that. I'm like, dude, we're chilling. I don't know if he's like ready to be interviewed. I didn't ask him about that. In hindsight, I should have, because I would have loved to record more of us just talking and chilling. And afterwards, we talked about it, and he's like, dude, you should have. Like, and so we're driving. We're going. I'm going in the direction. I'm like, okay, just give me the address. Give me wherever we're going. He's like, okay, let me look up hotels. So he uses his hotspot, pulls up his laptop. He's looking at places. Reminder, John from What Do You Meme, not great with directions, not great with geographical areas. Mind you, he's never been to Illinois or Wisconsin, so he doesn't really know. So he's looking at hotels, and here's issue number one that we bump into. Issue number one is there is not a lot of places that are nice hotels, that are like, everything looks like your grandma's bedroom. Like, it's just old school stuff, which again, like in this part of the neck of the woods in Wisconsin, it wasn't like downtown Madison. It wasn't, big city area. This was like small town area Wisconsin. And we don't know if this guy's willing to drive further to a major city. So we're just trying to go to his area. So John is like looking, and he finds like a really nice one. And John's words were, let's get a 5-star hotel. Like, I want to get as nice of a place as possible to film this in. And I'm like, dude, if you're paying, I'm not complaining. So, but I also realized that like nothing has gotten planned. I was hoping that in the time that I did a youth ministry and was working at my church, and John was just at the airport sitting down, that he like figured that all out ahead of time. None of this got figured out. So we're in the car. He's like showing me kind of hotels. He's like, what do you think of this room? Nothing's looking good or solid. It's like 11 o'clock at night. We're getting to the border of Wisconsin. And so I'm just kind of driving in the general direction towards that town in that area that I think this is all in. To be honest, you made the backdrop thing work, so no complaints. Hey, John ended up editing the video. I just recorded everything. So props to John for actually like making the video work well. I was giving him ideas and thoughts, but I'll get to that in a minute. So we're driving, and John's just like, man, there's like no hotels around here. So I was like, okay, well, what's the to make a long story short, we basically were like trying to look at surrounding areas. And I was like, okay, why don't you do this? Put in the zip code, because the guy didn't send him like an exact address. He just told him, I guess, a description. Again, I hadn't seen this email at this point, but a description of the area that he was in, and then gave a zip code. So John plugs in that zip code. And so if this is Wisconsin, right, this is the line. My microphone's the line of Illinois. Everything up here is Wisconsin. I was thinking we were going to go like over here. Not very far past the border, just right over here. When he puts in the zip code, and when I put it into my GPS to see the area, and I was going to like zoom out of Google Maps, we'd stop to get gas. What I see is it's not right here. Instead, this zip code gives me Gideon, Wisconsin, which is nowhere near, if you pull up a map, it is nowhere near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Gideon, Wisconsin is like up here. It's not down here. It is all the way up here. And this 1.5 hour drive from the airport to the area this guy lived in, we quickly realized that around 11:30 at night, turned into a 6-hour drive. 6 more hours. So John starts like spiraling. I'm like, dude, I'm so tired already. John was tired because he hadn't gotten any sleep. My daughter had not let me sleep super well the night before. Mind you, again, we're all doing this by the seat of our pants. Like, this is all like unraveling right before our eyes. And we're just like, what are we going to do? John's like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, we're committed, man. Like, you drove all the way out here. He bought like a ticket last minute that was expensive to get on. Like, it was just like, oh, man, dude. And I'm like, well, we're not going to let this go to waste. I'm like, well, I'm going to get us there. I did not, like, take time off of work tomorrow. I didn't do all this other stuff just so that we didn't get a video. Like, we are making a video out of this. So we start driving towards Gideon, Wisconsin. John starts looking up hotels. But, again, just like, dude, what are we going to do? We're going to literally get in at like 5 in the morning and the guy's going to show up at 9. So that's going to give us 4 hours to set up, sleep, and get ready for this guy to show up. And I was like, well, you know, like, we'll make it happen. In my mind, I'm like, I might as well just stay up. And then like, maybe we'll just keep the hotel for the rest of the day. We have the rest of the day off. Let's just sleep. John changes his flight from the time that he was going to leave. Like, I think it was like at 3 or 4 in the afternoon to like 9 o'clock Thursday night. So I'm like, that's our new plan. We'll just get there. Let's stay awake. We'll set everything up. We'll sleep a little bit if we can. The guy's going to show up. We'll record it. And then we will just actually get a proper rest at that hotel. That was our plan. Not too bad in my mind for trying to roll with it and be flexible. So mind you, we still haven't actually gotten a hotel. We're just now driving way north 6 more hours to Gideon, Wisconsin. So we're looking at photos of hotels and places, and we're trying to figure out like what we could do, because a lot of rooms are like super small. Like, well, if we move the furniture out of the room for a little bit, if we like rearrange the stuff. But I tell him, I'm like, pictures are always so deceiving. And the reality is it's like midnight, 1 in the morning. Nobody's booking hotels at this point. Let's just get to Gideon. Let's look at the 3 best hotels in the area. And that way we could actually see what the room looks like, kind of get a better picture of it. And then they might even give us like a discount because we only need it, you know, for the morning. And then we can get out and go sleep somewhere else at a hotel that's not as nice or fancy. So that's how my brain's working. So that's our plan. So we drive another 4 hours, and me and John are just talking. My goal at this point is just to keep John awake, keep What Do You Meme awake, because I'm like, I'm tired. If I stop talking, I'm going to end up falling asleep and getting passed out. And, you know, like, that wouldn't be good. And get us into some kind of accident. So I got to keep John awake. So I keep him awake for almost the entire trip. We're about an hour and a half away again from Gideon, Wisconsin. John is like, yo, I'm so spent. I'm so tired. I think I need to sleep a little bit. So I was like, cool, dude. You do your thing. I'll just put my AirPods in. I'll put some music on. He's like, no. Like, do your thing. You know, watch, you know, listen to whatever you want to listen to. Listen to a book. Listen to some music, whatever. I'll try to sleep through it. So the last thing he does before he falls asleep is he sends me a text with the name of the hotel that he really wants to check out, the nice one. So I was like, okay. So I take the address, I put it in my phone, or the name of the hotel. He doesn't give me the address, just the name of the hotel. I put it in my phone, and again, we're heading north. All of a sudden, my GPS stops taking me north up here and starts taking me east, which is like into Minnesota. And like, I'm like, what the heck? So I like zoom out from where the hotel is, and I see it's like in the Minneapolis metropolitan area. Like, it is in the downtown Minneapolis area. So the guy lived in like, I forget, it was like Cotton Village or something like that. I don't remember the exact name of the town. And so there's a what I realized as I'm driving here is that there was a Cotton Village, Wisconsin, where I originally thought we were going. And then there's a Cotton Village, Minnesota, that's in the same area. It's Cotton something. I don't remember the full name. And it added like 3 more hours onto our... Oh, thank you so much, Del, or whoever that is. I'm assuming it's Del. It is. I was right. Thank you so much. Okay,
you are on the bigger screen.
I appreciate it. Well, hello, bigger screen. And so I'm like, no, dude, I've just driven like 6 hours. I don't want to drive another 3. I don't want this 1.5 hour trip to become a 9-hour trip just for this thing. But what am I going to do? So I'm like, this can't be right. This dude doesn't live in Minnesota. Like, he can't. Like, Gideon, Wisconsin, maybe. So I wake up John. He wasn't really sleeping. He was just kind of like, I do need to get a schedule. You're right. Thank you, Del, for the 49 months. We'll celebrate after this. So I wake up John, and who wasn't really sleeping. He was just trying to fall asleep. And I'm like, dude, this can't be right. Like, where did you pull this hotel from? And he's like, well, I put in the name of the town that the guy gave me. And I'm like, okay, but this is for like Cottageville, Minnesota, which is nowhere near Wisconsin, Cottageville, Wisconsin, and nowhere near Gideon, Wisconsin. So I'm like, so something is off. Let me see the email. So he shows me the email. Mind you guys, it is like 2, almost 3 in the morning at this point. So he shows me the email, and the guy tells John, again, doesn't give him an exact address, but he says, hey, here's the town I live in. It's east of Madison. Here's the zip code. And the zip code went to Gideon, Wisconsin. So I'm like, okay, trying to think this through. I'm like, I think what happened, we're using our super tired brains together here, is I'm like, I think the guy probably, the probability, because we can't call him. We don't have his cell number. We just have an email. We just know we have to give him an address by the morning that's close to his area. So I'm like, okay, after looking at the email, I'm like, what I think is happening here is this dude typed all this out, and he knows where he lives. And then so I think just his fat, chubby, little old man fingers probably mishit something in the zip code. Then he accidentally typed out the whole phrase, I live east of Madison, Wisconsin. I'm like, he probably just gave us the wrong zip code. We've been going to this wrong zip code up in Gideon, Wisconsin. We're like literally almost on the most northern part of Wisconsin. And so I'm like, what I think it is we got to actually go back to the very first place I said, Cottonville, Wisconsin, which was only an hour and a half away from the airport. And John's like, no, dude, really? And I was like, yeah, I think it was the very first place we said. And he's like, no, this sucks. We're going to be so tired. We're going to get there. So I stopped driving, plug it into my phone to go back to where we just drove all the way from. And it gave me another 2.5 hours. And I was like, dude, we're going to get there at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning. This guy had a hard stop time at like 11:30 or whatever it was. So he had to come like at 9 a.m. So we have literally less than 3 hours to set up. Also assess what we even have, because John didn't get to go grab all of his stuff. I brought most of my stuff, just like I ripped this whole room apart to bring stuff for the interview. And also we're not going to sleep. Also, I've been driving the entire night since 10 o'clock at night. It is now like 3 in the morning. And so, I turn around, we start driving. I stop to get gas, and I explain the story to the gas attendant. John's in the car still. I'm grabbing like a Arizona iced tea. That's my drink of choice. That's why we have the hype cans here. And dude, I started talking to him. He's like, oh, my grandma lives, or some relative of his lives in that Cottageville, whatever it was called, area. And I was like, great. Do you know of good hotels there? Because we still don't have a hotel. We got to figure this out. And he goes, well, you're only about like 5 to 10 minutes away from Madison. I would just get a hotel in Madison. So I was like, great. That is awesome. Again, super ticked off that we drove all this way out here in the middle of nowhere. But thankful that at least the hotel thing is probably going to get figured out. So, but that's the other thing. We don't even know if our location is actually right. I'm just assuming that this is the most likely scenario is that the dude doesn't live in Minnesota. He doesn't live up in Gideon, Wisconsin. I just think he typed in the wrong zip code. He said in his email, I live east of Madison, and Cottageville, whatever, was just east of Madison. So I'm like, okay, this is do or die. Like, I'm placing all our bets. I'm placing your video and your channel, John. And John had already made this like big claim on his YouTube channel, because he was telling people like, hey, I didn't see this post until afterwards, but he had told his community like, yo, I'm going to be interviewing Jeffrey Dahmer's pastor. What questions do you have for him? Blah, blah, blah. So there is all of these people with these expectations that this was going to happen. John had already thrown in about $1,000 worth of money at this project just to get us to where we are right now. So I'm like, dude, we got to make this happen. Like, we got to keep going. I was like, you try to sleep on the car ride, but he didn't. He just hung out and talked, and we got into like good conversations. So we drive all the way back. We get to downtown Minnesota, or downtown, I'm sorry, Madison. Again, not even knowing for sure if this is the right area. We're betting it all on my logical reasoning here of my super tired brain at 4 a.m, 5 a.m. And we go to the super nice hotel right across the street from the Capitol building. And we end up getting a room. And dude, we are so tired, we barely even assess it. And how's it going, King? And so we're like, okay, we need to we are way too tired to look at gear. We brought everything up. We're like, we're way too tired to look at gear. Way too tired to look at our questions. Way too tired to even try to start setting up the room. We had like a general idea. And so we just both pass out in the room. And we're like, let's just set our alarms. It's 6 a.m. The sun, you can see the sun literally coming up over the Capitol building. And we're like, let's just sleep for like 2 hours and give ourselves an hour, 60 minutes to set up, to get ready, and just pray that God blesses this. So we had an hour. John emails the guy, tells him the address, gives him the room number. We pass out. Like I fall asleep like instantly. I'm so tired. Now, mind you, if you don't know whaddoyoumeme, I didn't know this for a while. But he has I think it's called a cochlear in his ear. So he's lost his hearing. So the only way he can hear is when he has it on, and he doesn't sleep with it on. So he tells me, hey, set your watch, set your phone alarm, make sure you wake up to wake me up because I'm not going to hear an alarm. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That sucks. Like, he's not going to hear a vibrating phone on a desk, and like, I was like, oh, this is literally all riding on me and my super tired brain to actually get up in time. Part of me didn't even want to sleep, but I went to sleep anyways. So I slept for 2 hours. And yeah, I get up, dude, and I am bloodshot. I have video that you'll see in the video. Not this video, but the next one that I upload. My eyes are super bloodshot. It is just, I'm like beyond tired. I feel more tired than when I went to sleep. Only getting 2 hours after like 48 hours of being awake. So we get up, we get ready. I wake up John. He gets dressed. By the way, John has still not like gone over his questions at this point of what he's going to ask this guy. And I just start pulling out gear. I start pulling out my stuff. I start setting up lights. I start setting up the chairs and where I think it can work for shots. We knew we had 3 cameras. This one, my camera, and then John had 2 similar cameras, Sony cameras. And so I'm like, okay, great. I knew I had my tripod, and John was supposed to bring 2 of his. Well, as we're setting up, John realizes he didn't bring batteries for his cameras. My batteries do not fit his camera, even though they're both Sony's. They're just different size batteries. So that's not good. So he has one camera with half a battery, no charger, and another one that has 3%. Again, no charger. Obstacle number 2. Obstacle number 3, a lot of them were around gear. Obstacle number 3, we didn't have enough tripods. I had brought my tripod, but unfortunately, I forgot the sliding piece that connects the tripod to the camera. It's kind of like the bridge in between. I forgot that piece because I left it here on the table. So I had a tripod that I would have to balance something like this on it. Which, okay. John forgets to bring his tripod as well. Like any of them. Luckily, I brought you can't see them because they're out of shots right now. But I had 2 Elgato arms. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make these arms work to mount the cameras onto. But the issue is there's not enough furniture in the room. We don't have enough space to have chairs and desks and other things around us to mount these arms to. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, dude, I'm working on like 2 hours of sleep. I'm trying to figure this out. I end up using the bellhop wagon to mount one of the arms to, and the shot that you see John in throughout this. So I'll show you guys this. Where's his interview? Let's see. This shot right here. I'm gonna show you guys. This shot right here. This was my camera mounted to a freaking luggage crate. Gotta have some, right? Exactly. So that's how we got this shot. This is the best shot, by the way, of any of them. Was my camera on on a bellhop luggage thing. So that was that shot. I then use his camera on my tripod, not tripod stuff, and just pray to God that it stays balanced on there. So then, okay, and then I'm like, okay, the third camera that has like 3%, I'm just gonna walk around to try to get a trolley. Thank you. I couldn't think of what it was called. To try to get like free-handed, candid shots. Maybe some motion that we can use in B-roll. Something I could just be a little bit more fun and creative with. So we do that. So okay, crisis somewhat averted here. Until like the lighting, you could see this right here. There's like this. I'll just go to this full main screen. You can see this right here. This curtain kept flying open. So again, I don't have duct tape. I don't have a sewing kit, but in the bathroom, I found it's a shoe repair kit. So for like your leather shoes, I guess back in the day, it's just a fancy old hotel. Some thread and a needle. And so I sew the curtains shut to each other. That's how we ended up getting to make the room actually like dark enough, consistently dark. Because again, it's middle of the day. The sun is like moving like crazy. So we sew the curtain shuts. That's good. And then we were like, oh, for audio, I didn't bring this microphone because John was like, he has a shotgun mic. I have a shotgun mic. We'll make this work. Well, his shotgun mic runs on a charger. Cool. My shotgun mic needed a battery. And mind you, we're down to like our last probably like 10 minutes at this point. It's like do or die time. We either going to have this set up or we're not. I set up the lights, but my microphone needs a D battery or a 9-volt. I'm not really sure. So the one that I have in there's it's done. It's dead. I didn't check it. Again, super professional of us, I know. Engineering brain activate. Exactly, right? It looks way better than he made it seem like it was going to look when he gave a disclaimer. I know, he makes it like so dramatic, like this whole dramatic intro of like disclaimer. I think the truth is after getting to know John in a very long car ride for 2 days straight, he just has this level of excellency that is something to really be admired. But like most strengths, there's double-edged swords to it, right? So like for him, he's like, dude, he has this level of excellence that he wants, this professionalism. And I get it, he's 200 closing on 300,000 subscribers. Like I understand. For me at 800, I'm like, dude, we just got some really cool content. Let's polish this up as best we can and send it out and it'll blow up. For him, he wanted it to be, I think he just had in his mind what this ideal was, and we just were not working in these ideal circumstances. So for him, I think it's in his mind so much of a downgrade from what he was hoping and expecting. But all that to say, like, you still had a great attitude about it, and he was still great about it all. Anyways, so back to like my battery issue with this microphone. So I'm like, dude, they're gonna be sitting across from each other, so we need two different shotgun mics pointed in different directions, and you can kind of see them in one of the shots I did. Let me see here. So this was mine pointed towards him, and then the other one was like over here by this phone. So this microphone that was supposed to be on John didn't work without the battery. So I'm like, ugh, okay. Like, either I have to like figure out a way to make one microphone work for two people, which John, again, because of his cochlear, doesn't talk super loud. He can't gauge his volume. I mean, he probably can to some level, but he relatively talks sometimes quieter. And we don't know how this guy's gonna sound. So it's like, where do I point this thing? It's not gonna pick you both up the way we want it to. So John's like, don't leave. And I'm like, dude, I think there's a little convenience store downstairs. There's a Walgreens nearby. I'll be right back. And John's like, no, don't. So I leave against his wishes. I leave the room. I take the elevator down. I go down to the little hotel lobby and concession stand. And I asked the concierge, the people down there, like, hey, you know where I can get batteries? And they're like, you can look in the store. The store has nothing. They don't even have AA or AAAs. And I look at my map, Google Maps, and there is a Walgreens like 0.3 of a mile away. Great. I'm in my, like, remind, I haven't even gotten dressed. I'm like still in my like sleeping clothes. I'm in shorts, t-shirt. I'm gonna have like slides on, my Adidas slides on. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I gotta get this battery. I have 8 minutes. I can book it to this Walgreens, buy a battery, get back, put it in the microphone, and then we're Gucci. We're all set. We're gonna make this happen. So I start running. It is raining. My socks are getting soaked. It's like pouring. It's not just like lightly raining. It is pouring. And mind you, I'm in downtown Madison. A city block is a lot different than like a regular block. There's like 4 other intersections in between the corner that I'm on, and the corner of this Walgreens. So I'm having to cross like multiple streets here in the rain. My slides keep falling off because now my feet are wet on top of being soaked. I'm just trying to get there as fast as I can. Guys, I work out and I run occasionally, but it has been a little bit of time, and this city block is feeling more like a mile. So I get there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a 9-volt, not a D battery. I'm just like, I know it's the square one. Whatever one's the square one, I think that's what I need. I didn't double check it. I didn't bring the microphone with me. I just grab it again on a gamble. And again, hoping that this guy's going to actually show up to this spot and not email us back and be like, hey, sorry, I live in Minnesota. So I buy the battery. I run back, sprint all the way back pretty much. Get inside. I'm drenched. I'm both wet from sweat and from the rain. I get in the elevator. I have my key card. And I go to hit the button on the elevator and realize that I did not pay enough attention as I needed to be. Because I don't not just remember the room number. I don't remember the floor that we're on. And this hotel is like an older building, so our cell phones didn't work if you're in it. I was just bought both to be safe. Again, that's the smart thing. I was running on adrenaline and 2 hours of sleep, so I'm like, no, I'm just buying this one, I guess, and it's either gonna be bust or like beauty. So I'm like, okay, I think there was like a 9. I think there was a 6. So I'm like, okay, I think it was 619. I think that was our room number. Let's go. So I like hit the 6th floor. I go up to it, and now I remember like walking to the room, and I remember where our room is on the floor. Like I remember the floor plan, and I know it was like right immediately as soon as we got off the elevator. I knew where it was. So I get off on the 6th floor, and I recorded all this too because I'm like recording this at least for a video. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't the floor. What is my floor? And now it's like, it is 10 o'clock exactly. The guy's supposed to be there. I'm like, I need to get to that room. And yeah, hopefully. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I just switch it. Maybe it's 916 instead of 619. So I go up to the 9th floor, and luckily enough, I get off the elevator, and I'm like, yes, there's our room. So I knock on the door. John opens it right away, and I'm like, hey, sorry, is he here yet? Like, and as I like come into the room, I see that this guy is sitting on the couch already, just waiting for us to start. Yeah, yeah, I'm just mixing everything up. And so he's there. He's been sitting there, and John ends up telling me later, I think it's in the interview that I'll have for you guys, our car interview here, that like it was almost comical. It's like in the movies where you see there's 2 elevators and you get the side shot, and like one person goes in one and it closes, and then the other door of the elevator opens and someone else steps out. John's like, that's essentially what happened. You went down the elevator and the other one opened and he came out. He's like, go figure, you know, this guy not only, you know, gives us such a short window to do this in, and we've messed up everything else, but then he gets here early. He's like, so he's been sitting here with me for 10 minutes. This is all we talked about afterwards in the car. And I'll save like John and his conversation for the car conversation that we have. But essentially it was like super awkward and super weird, and John didn't really know what to talk about with this guy. So he was like just praying that I get back sooner rather than later so they could get this started. Yeah, so it was like super awkward first interaction. Poor guy. Yo, Glock, how's it going? Welcome in. So I get it. We set up the last few things and we get rolling. And essentially what you see in the interview is almost like the entire thing. Yeah, so this shot, eventually with the tripod, what ends up happening is because the camera is not leveled, it ends up like moving down more. So like half of this shot that we were trying to do to make it like match this shot, or let's see, where is it? His shot of this, so it looks like a conversation, didn't stay there. So that's why John was like super bummed about it. So anyways, that's me on the handheld. We shoot this whole thing. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm talking about. This is my bad. I was saying this shot right here. Let me see. This shot is what was on the tripod, or no. Yeah, that's all me on the tripod. Oh, this shot right here. It kept like sliding. Let's see. Yeah, that was me on the handheld. You can kind of tell because of how like much I'm moving. Again, no cage, no nothing. But we were trying to line up that shot with this shot, and he kept moving, like, and turning more one way or the other. So we're like, oh my goodness. And I couldn't be at two places at once. So I'm like, well, we're just gonna have to live with that. The earthquake. Yeah, exactly. That's all the story is missing at this point, Doll, is an earthquake to just hit. So we finished filming. John does a good job. I end up getting to ask a few questions. That's like the bonus stuff that you see if you watch this interview. There's like a bonus portion after they wrap up where I'm picking up and John and him are rapping, and we're just like, he's like, hey, is there any other questions? And I was like, oh, I have a good one. And so I asked him, and then John was like, oh, that's really good. Let's roll with that. So I turn back on the camera as I keep shooting. We finish the interview. We walk him out of the hotel. We take the picture that you guys have seen. And we're like, yes, we did it. We're done. We're good. Oh, by the way, the phone was like ringing off and on. We had to like stop production at one point because I unplugged the cord and the phone on the wall charger because I anticipated like somebody's gonna call. Nobody knows we're here, but somebody from the hotel is gonna call. Something's gonna happen where this phone is gonna ring. So I anticipated it, but I didn't anticipate the phone has its own battery, and so it'll still ring even if it's not on the charger. Oh, thank you, Trinity. So did you get the right battery? I did get the right battery. Sorry, I never said that. The battery worked. It did fit. Praise God. We were all good there. So we were able to do this like whole interview. We're downloading the footage. I'm actually like really happy with the hand cam that I did, because I was able to get like 6 shots like this that I just thought were like so cool and like good. And I'm like, dude, the backdrop on this looks so good. Like, this is awesome. Like, I really like this shot. I know my hand's moving a little bit, but no joke, I was like literally behind John and like almost up against the wall, just trying to like get some shots, you know? And if I had a cage, and this would have just made the shot a little sweeter. But essentially we do all this. The phone does ring, and also the cleaning crew comes by, even though we had do not disturb on, because they wanted us out of the hotel, even though we checked in at like 6 in the morning. They're like, well, checkout's at 11. I talked them into giving us a 1 p.m. Checkout, so we have time to like pick up all our gear. By the time we're done, we basically have to like get out. We still haven't slept at this point. We're back in my car. We pick up some food from Madison. We then start driving back to O'Hare, and we have a good conversation. And then this is where the video that I'm going to share with you guys and give you guys here is it's on me having a car interview with John about this whole adventure, this whole ordeal from his perspective. And so that's what I want you guys to hear. And it's also a conversation for Christian content creators or just Christian streamers or Christians in general in this world, why we need more YouTube and content creators and people like that, and some best practices. So me and John have this huge long conversation in this 1.5-hour car ride. The video is about 50 minutes or so. So I want to give you guys that. Like I said, the footage itself isn't amazing because it's just shot on my iPhone. But I'm going to be dropping it here in a little bit. I'm just going to have it. Let me see. While I remember, let me do this right now. But yeah, so John's happy. We got the footage done, and I drop him off at the airport after we do this car interview and after we get some steaks to celebrate. Afterwards, though, he's at the airport. I come home to my wife. I'm all happy. I'm celebrating like we did it, babe. Again, not knowing where my wife was going to be because I told her I'd be home before, she woke up that morning, and now I'm barely making it home before she goes to bed for the day. And so I thought she was gonna be mad. She was just more happy and proud that we were able to get our project done and finish the thing we started. And then that's when I get the text from John, who's sitting at the airport, and he's like, "Dude, the white balance is off. The stabilization isn't like great." And I was like, "Oh man." And then, yeah, like he wasn't super thrilled with, again, like totally rightly fair. He just had expectations of it was going to be way up here, and like the quality of what we had was, I think, subpar to what he was hoping for. And he's like, the angles are off, all this stuff. And I was like, I'm sorry. And then we talked about just like alternative ideas. I was like, dude, well, we could just turn this into like, like there could just be a screen that has your face and his face like in the corners, and then like a little voice meter thing, that you see in like those 911 calls and stuff, that just have the words there. Like just you could do that, or maybe just throw B-roll in between. So we were coming up with creative ideas on what to do where like the shots didn't look as good as he was hoping, and like using just B-roll to transition in between. And so yes, but we were both exhausted, and we're like, okay, he wasn't mad. Like I didn't feel like, oh, he's mad at me. I just think he was like, bummed that like he didn't get the shots that he was really hoping for. But I was like, hey, all things considered, after every hurdle we did, and all of this being so last minute, I think this worked out relatively well. I'm like, because he wasn't even sure if he was going to post this. I'm like, you have to post this video and get this out. Because especially you already told your community, just like, yeah, it's just not going to be as great as you were hoping, but it'll still be good. So he does, we put it out, and yeah, and it ends up, I think, turning out pretty well. And I think it worked for the most part. Like I said, so please go and watch it. So he knows like that the substance is what matters. It's at 75,238 views. If my community, if you guys can help us just get this thing, we're trying to get it to at least 100K, because to him, that'll show like, hopefully, one, that we can make things happen even last minute, but two, that like these are the type of things people want to see, and then that way we can do more type of interviews like this, because there's other people who we want to interview, and for me it was just a good learning experience on what things we have to plan better, or like what I could bring or what I could pick up for even my own interviews that I want to do. So yeah, so please go check it out. If you've already watched it, watch it again. If you haven't liked it, like it. Watch it on multiple accounts. Whatever you guys got to do, let's get this video up there. Share it with people, because I do want to see this video do super well for him. And then I'm gonna link my stuff to his stuff too, just in the off chance that one of my videos does somewhat well. But yeah, guys, that was essentially the crazy, wild story of what that looked like. It had a happy ending. The video came out, I thought, pretty well, and